Good morning. It's Monday. We're back here at the farm. Get this out of the way right away. Tomorrow, I will be at the Fort Wayne Farm Show. So if you're watching this right after it came out, we're at Fort Wayne, the farm show. So if you're around, say hi. And yeah, anyway. So if you watched last week, you'll know that we're kind of done with the major stuff in the shop here. Moving our stairs out of the way. Tractors have all been through the shop. I'm not ready to get planters out and stuff yet. So I've got some smaller odd job kind of projects that we're going to work on this week. One of them being this. We're going to start. We're going to tear into it a little bit. I don't know how far we're going to make it or how much we're going to do, but let's try and make a little bit of progress. It would be nice to figure out what to do with this head and to assemble a parts list so that I know what I need to buy in order to start reassembling an engine. Yeah, so that's what we're going to try and work on here today a little bit. I also want to bring my man lift back in. That's just on the other side of that door right there, and work on that just a little bit. It doesn't need a whole lot, I don't think, but one of the problems that I noticed was the swing is backwards. When you move the lever one way, it swings the opposite way, so we're going to see if we can fix that this week. We'll probably also bring my Anhydrous tank in the shop here and at least start the process of working on that. We'll see how that goes. All right, so we've got the head here for that F12. Okay, so for those of you that don't know the backstory here, this old tractor that's been sitting in the corner of my shop for a year and a half. This is an old Farmall F12. I believe it's a 38 model. It was my grandfather's. Actually, it was probably my great-grandfather's, but from what I know, it was my grandpa's, but I have never seen it run. The stories that I have heard, well, it sat in the corner of a barn my entire childhood, my entire life until I got it out a year and a half ago. My mom, this is on my mom's side, not my dad's, tells me that it got put in that barn in 1980, and she remembers it sitting in the corner of another barn that they were tearing down, hence the reason they moved it, for at least, I think, 15 years before that. So that makes it not having run since at least 1965. Boys are watching YouTube in the office. So I got it out, and with the intent to restore it, make it run, make it look nice. It's a long-term project, but we're going to try and do something on it here. So we've gotten the engine tore apart. I pulled the pistons and the piston liners and stuff a while ago, and I am kind of to the point where I feel like I need to take this somewhere, have it cleaned up, and you know, all of that stuff. Especially underneath here, the top of the pistons, they're rusted pretty good and scaly and stuff. So I don't know, but I think we need to get that fixed up. I'm debating whether I should pull all of the valves or not. I did this one. I feel like they're going to have to get pulled. And then, is this salvageable, or do I just need to find new piston or new valves? I don't know, but I think I'm going to keep taking them apart. I just don't want to lose any pieces because it's got a couple of real small little clips there that hold those in place, and I don't want to. I feel like they should probably stay in order. So how do I do that? I just pulled the second one. It's in better shape than the first. It's even got some numbers and markings on the bottom that if I needed to find new ones might be helpful. So I'm sure there's a tool that's supposed to do this, but here's what I'm doing. Taking my pliers, and if I push down just right, I can compress that spring. Usually. Maybe not on this one. I should go get my GoPro there like that, and then that clip that's kind of on there, I can pick that off, and then the spring comes off. A little two-piece half clips that got a couple of grooves in them that fit in these grooves on the top of the valve. Anyway, then the spring comes loose. You can pick that off of there and then push this out. And none of them move super freely, which I feel like they should. I've had to use a punch and a hammer to knock them out. That one's not too bad either, actually. Is that one of the good heads? The two, no, it's not. The two pistons that the valves were closed in for the time that it sat in the barn were in pretty good shape. The other two were not. Anyway, I don't know. I am not. I'm not a trained mechanic. I have no idea on any of this stuff. This is a learning project for me, learning experience. But I know there's a lot of sentimental value to this tractor, at least for me, not really for anybody else. But it doesn't have a whole lot of actual value. So if I screw it up, it's okay. It'll be okay. Well, I don't know if this is good news or bad news. I was able to get all of those out. The last two here actually function like they're supposed to. When you push down, the valve moves. And so, makes it a little more difficult. I gotta put something underneath it to hold the valve from pushing down so I can compress the spring without the valve moving and get that clip off of there. But I guess that's a good thing. That means that they still move. Okay, well, that is tore down as far as I think I need to go, or as far as I know how to go, I guess. Ooh, should probably not drop it. Some numbers there. We get the IH stamp. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we're going to take it somewhere and let them mess with it and see what they say. But I think it's still in good shape. There's no cracks anywhere or anything. I tried to clean it up a little. Got a little brake clean in it. That'll flush some oil out, I guess. It's okay. That's a good thing. All right, we're going to try and move this into the shop. It's a little cold. I don't know if it'll start or not. Yeah. She might not. Oh. Sweet. I'm going to warm up for a second while I open the door. Oh yeah, she's cold. Well, we'll make it. Okay. The shock is broken. I don't know if it's worth... I don't know if I can just take that off and thread that on there. Maybe we could put some kind of, something to ensure that it doesn't come out, or we can buy a new one. But let's see, platform rotate. I am wondering if it's not as simple as switching these two wires that would make that rotate in the opposite direction. The thing is, it doesn't work very good, rotate or go up and down when it's super cold. So we're gonna let it sit in here and warm up for a little bit, and then we're gonna do some experimenting. Yeah. I was gonna look. I don't see anything. I don't really have any service records. I don't know if the oil's been changed on it recently. I thought the guy told me they just did it when they got it, but I'm not sure. Well, that one was an easy fix. Just took it off and threaded the end back on there. Okay, cool. Okay, so we can try and run this from the ground here instead of from the platform, but if I do this is the turntable swing, clockwise and counterclockwise. So clockwise it should go that way, counterclockwise it should go that way, in my mind. So we'll push the clockwise, and it's backwards. Yeah, it's backwards. So if we come over here, which my cylinder rod fell apart already, but if I pull this wire off and I pull this wire off, and we swap them. Maybe. There we go. Now let's see what happens. Counterclockwise. Nope. Didn't change anything. Huh. Oh, maybe that's a different. That's turntable rotate. That's the rotate on the end down there. Platform rotate. We need. Alright. So that's not it. We got to put those back. This one's not going to be quite so easy. It's in this block down here. I don't know if it's changing a couple of these connectors or actually swapping a couple of hoses, but knowing which ones is the trick. Which ones open and close when we do that. I might need somebody else to help me diagnose and see which ones activate when I push the buttons there. Bummer. The other thing that could be tried is actually swapping the wires on the back of the switch, but I don't know if that would switch it from up there as well. I suppose it's worth a shot. Alright, I switched the purple and the pink wires. I don't think this is going to work. Actually, I do think it's going to work here. I don't think it's going to work there. That or we're going to blow something up. Never know if you don't try. Clockwise. Nothing. Oh, wait. No, we're still on ground controls. Counterclockwise. That doesn't work at all. I didn't think it would work. Alright, well, I'm not sure what to do next on this, honestly. Let me try and fix that thing again that fell apart, but I don't know how exactly these come apart or how this block works to be able to just swap some wires. It's not quite that easy, and I don't know which one, because that controls your boom raise and lower, the platform rotation, and something else. Steering maybe? So we gotta do the right one, but theoretically if I switched two hoses, that would work. I just don't know which two hoses. So we'll see. We got to go down to my seedware house. We got to take the battery charger. Just a minute, bud. We got to take the battery charger down there because my old Chevy truck is dead and I need to put the charger on it. Alright, so we're going to get the battery charger hooked up over there. I'm getting electrical cords to stretch across because I don't have any outlets on that side of my barn. We're going to push this outside and open up a valve. It's empty, but there's just a little bit of gas in it. So we're going to just open it up and let it bleed off out here before we pull it inside and actually take the fittings out. Probably shouldn't do that inside. Ugh. Okay, pull it out, Rylan. Helpers are awesome. Thank you. All right, that's plugged in. We got our tank out here. You stay in the barn. We're just gonna open this up. You hear it? Just a little bit. We've got a good breeze today, it'll blow it away, so I'm just gonna open this up and let it bleed off. In fact, it's done already. All right. So we got my new forklift here. Dad used it the other day to unload that box and pallet of beans, or corn there. What, Brayson?
Why do you use your new truck more than your other truck?
Because it's nicer and easy, more comfortable to drive, and that one has a lot of miles on it. And it doesn't run right now. We got to get it fixed.
Don't you way more miles on it than that?
Yes. Anyway, my old forklift here, we need to do a little battery maintenance. I admittedly have not been great at keeping up with filling these, although that one's not empty or dry. That one is, though. Yeah, can you see in there? No.
Ooh, now I can see.
So there's supposed to be fluid on those, and basically you just use water. I had always thought you needed to use distilled water, but when I was, no, you can't have my phone. When I was forklift shopping and talking to guys about battery maintenance and stuff, they said, "Nah, don't worry about using distilled water. Just use water. You just use a hose." In fact, there's a tool. What did I do with that? Somewhere that you can use to fill it, and I bought one and I got it, so I'm gonna fill that battery. I gotta find it. So this fancy thing here is supposed to like autofill and shut off when it's got the right amount in them, so you don't overfill them. Do I trust it?
Are you gonna do all of them?
It works.
Are you gonna do all of them, Dad?
I am gonna do all of them.
All what?
Cool.
Let me see, Dad.
So this will make battery maintenance a little bit easier, and hopefully I'll do it more regularly. Unbelievable. I don't understand. I don't know what to do about this. This truck that has not started since the middle of October. Every time I try to come in here and start it, wouldn't go. I put the charger on it, give it one shot, and it fires right up, like almost instantly. So what do I do now? I feel like I should take it to my mechanic. But tell him what, it won't start as I drive it in there. Oh, that's super frustrating. Super frustrating. Okay, I don't know. I gotta figure out what to do about that. Maybe I'll take it back and put it in the shop. I just, that's frustrating for me. Anyway, I got that anhydrous tank out there that my intent is to use for propane. What I would really like to do is put a radiant tube heater right in the peak here and be able to heat this building for like 2 weeks a year. And I know I don't have much insulation, hardly at all, just bubble wrap. But for no more than I need, I don't know that it's worth it to put insulation in. I spend $20,000 to insulate a barn that I need heat for 2 weeks a year. Just burn a little extra propane, you know? So I don't know. I gotta figure that out. But yeah, that's kind of one of my plans here for this winter yet. Well, we got the truck out, and we might as well
Do you have to push this? Do you need to?
pull our tank. No, we don't need the tow haul button. Pull an anhydrous tank 1/10 of a mile to the farm. Well, we were rather unsuccessful with this, but it's in the way now, so boys wanted to ride. We are literally 6 inches off the ground. It'll be okay, guys. I hear the safety police already. All right. Well, these valves have to come out. Basically, everything has to come out. We either have to plug the holes or put the valves we need in. So, I know some of you are really interested in this project. I know. But I'm a little hesitant to show the whole thing and what I'm going to do here because some of you are safety police and I don't need to hear it. So, yeah. I'm just going to decommission this from being an anhydrous tank. That's all you guys really need to know. All right. Well, it's well after lunchtime. I took the boys and we got some lunch and I've been tinkering with my tank here. Also, it's raining outside now. I got all the valves and stuff off. So that's what you need to know for now. We got the liquid fill, liquid removal, vapor fill, whatever, pressure relief, drain plug from the bottom, pressure gauge. This goes in there, and the level gauge all out. So we're done with this. There's definitely a aroma of anhydrous in here. It's not horrible, but every now and then you get a whiff and it's hard to breathe. So not hard to breathe, just you catch it. But we're gonna back it outside. All right, we got that tank taken outside. I sat down on the computer a little bit to check my email and stuff. You guys, you want to see something really cool? So you remember the you remember the fact that we got second place in the state for the corn growers yield contest, conventional till irrigated, right? And I was really, really, really happy about that. Golden Harvest just announced the winners for their Go for the Gold Challenge for 22. Now, this is a totally different contest. This is an in-house Golden Harvest only certain varieties, I guess, Gold Series soybeans, that they had a little internal yield contest, and I entered it, and I won. Go for the Gold Challenge 2022. Congratulations to our winners. Thank you to all who participated. Ohio, Nathan Baker, 86.81. Second place, 82.42. Dang good beans. We won it. We won for the state of Ohio, although technically my field was in Michigan, but I'm part of Ohio, so they gave me Ohio, I guess. There was a couple guys broke 100 here in Illinois. Michigan, a guy broke 90, and then 84. I would have been second in Michigan, I guess. Now Maryland, this guy right here, and I'm guessing his wife. Yeah, they know how to grow some soybeans out there. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Want a trip for two to the 23 Commodity Classic in Orlando, Florida? How about that? It rained. That's all I got. It rained. Like, I'm not that good of a farmer. I'm not. But it rained, and we had really good crops because it rained. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to be in Orlando, it looks like, for the Commodity Classic, and we're still working on the details on that trip. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I've been spending a little time on the computer here this afternoon, working on my crop plan stuff a little bit. So I have a Google Sheets document that I use. I'll show you just a little bit here. But basically right now I am trying to assign varieties to fields. I've been working on the soybeans, and there's a couple of factors that go into what beans do we plant where. First of all, maturity, right? And so what I mean by that is where we want to plant wheat this fall, we want an early maturing bean, the one that we are going to harvest first, so that we can get the wheat planted early, hopefully the end of September, and be able to get the wheat off to a good start. But in order to do that, the beans have to come out early, and so that's kind of where I start. What fields are we going to plant to wheat next year in the fall of 23 for the summer of 24 harvest? We're planning for a year out already. And then what varieties do we have on the early side that fit those fields? So that's where we start. And then I go from there to, all right, what are my best varieties that fit the best fields? Where do I want my full season beans, where we don't need to do any, we're not going to plant wheat, we don't need any tile work or anything like that, or anything that we might want to get the beans out early for, stuff that's maybe a little bit better drained, that means we could get it planted earlier, or maybe better drained that we could do tillage if it happens to turn wet in the fall, it'll still be decent conditions, that kind of stuff. Plus you got to fit the hybrid or the variety of the soybeans to the soil type. Some of them work better on more productive ground, some of them work better on stressed ground or more poorly drained ground, kind of thing. And those are the big ones in our situation. Is it tiled? Is it not? And how do the beans handle wet ground versus productive ground, kind of thing. So yeah, I'll show you what I got here. All right, so here's our list of fields along the side. This is filtered for just the soybeans, and I just threw a generic planting rate in there. It tells me how many units we're going to need for each of those fields, and then I kind of pick the variety that I want to put in it times how many units I need. So they don't always match up. Like, for example, this field here says I need 16.3 units, but I've only got 10 there. Well, that's the field where my plot's going to go, so that's going to take up some of that. And then, if I have multiple varieties, which I only have a couple of fields that have multiple varieties in it, but this tells me how many units I've got total for the field, and then this column tells me how many more I'm either over or under. So like this one, I got 1.7 too many assigned. This one, we're 3.6 under. It kind of varies and averages out, and eventually down here at the bottom, we realize that we're 15 units over. That 88 is the corn. We haven't done the corn yet. So we've got an extra 15 units scattered between all of those fields. It should work out right. That's pretty close. These fields with a 1 over here are where we're going to put wheat this fall. So, you know, we go all the way, you know, down the list. The fields here on this lower part, these are all going to get 2-2s. These are our fields in Berkey. And so they're all going to get the same variety, and that's all going to go to wheat this fall. So that's why we put our early beans there. We're gonna finish combine and wheat down there this summer. We're gonna leave the combine. We're gonna start combine and beans there this fall. Fingers crossed that should work out really well. But anyway, so I've got a pretty good plan on the beans. We'll have to do the corn sometime. All right, well, I guess with that, it's time for me to go home. I get to go clean out a refrigerator that died over the weekend for me. Freezer. Hey, what are you doing? So thanks for watching. Like I said, tomorrow we are going to be in Fort Wayne for the farm show. So you'll have a farm show video tomorrow. I'll do my best to film, but we'll see how that goes. Can you tell everybody bye?
Bye.
Bye. See you tomorrow, farm show?
See you tomorrow.
Yeah. See ya.